The rain in Tokyo always feels different. It slides down the neon-lit windows, washing the city clean, but tonight, you can almost hear a faint shamisen melody under the storm, a ghost of a sound. Let me take you back to 1998, a time before the city completely swallowed its traditions. This is the story of a young dancer named Aiko, quiet, graceful, and cursed to never stop dancing. Aiko was a classical Nihon Baiyu dancer. After her father passed away, she left Tokyo for 3 months to grieve. When she returned, something was different. Her friends at the dance troupe noticed it immediately. Her movements were sharper, cleaner, almost too perfect. Her roommate, Yumi, watched her practice one night, a growing unease in her heart. "You didn't blink once just now," Yumi said. "Are you all right, Aiko?" Aiko turned and smiled, but her lips trembled, as if the smile wasn't her own. Strange rumors began to circulate at the studio. At night, after everyone had gone home, soft footsteps could be heard from the floor above the rehearsal hall. But that floor had been locked and abandoned for decades. One night, driven by suspicion, Yumi snuck upstairs. The air was thick with dust. The room was dark and empty. But there on the floor, she saw them, footprints. Bare, small, perfectly aligned, dancing in circles like a doll. Her eyes scanned the darkness, and then she saw it, a lacquered no mask hanging from a wooden beam, its face painted with tears. The next morning, Aiko told her, "My teacher came back. He's helping me improve." But no one alive taught the style Aiko was now performing. It was a lost art, a forgotten dance from the Taisho era, 100 years ago. The breaking point came during a group rehearsal. Aiko suddenly began dancing to music no one else could hear. Her body convulsed, snapping between impossible poses. The other students watched, frozen in terror. Her movements weren't a performance. They were a ritual, a summoning. The mirrors began to fog over, and shadows twisted on the walls behind her. The instructor, his face pale with fear, screamed, "Aiko, stop!" At his voice, Aiko collapsed to the floor. When they revived her, she whispered, her voice barely audible, "Sensei isn't happy we stopped." Yumi knew she had to find out what was happening. Her investigation led her to old studio records, to a name, Ishida Ren. He was a dance master from the 1920s, a perfectionist who believed bodies rot. Art must be eternal. In 1926, during a final performance, he set himself on fire, declaring that he would dance again through a worthy vessel. Legend said his spirit never left the studio, and his favorite mask was never found. Days later, Aiko's body began to change. Her joints bent past their natural limits. Her eyes stayed wide open, even when she was sleeping. Sometimes, in the dead of night, Yumi would hear her whispering dance steps in an archaic form of Japanese. Frightened, Yumi decided to film her secretly. When she played the footage back, her blood ran cold. Aiko was alone in the room, but her shadow was not following her. It was dancing ahead of her, teaching, guiding, correcting her every move. Then came the invitation. Aiko announced a private performance in the old, abandoned studio. Only 5 people attended, including Yumi. As the lights dimmed, a single drum began to beat. Aiko's body moved violently, with the sickening sound of bones grinding. Suddenly, the no mask dropped from the ceiling, landing perfectly on her face. Yumi screamed and rushed forward, trying to pull it off, but the mask seemed to fuse with Aiko's skin. A new voice, deep and resonant, echoed from behind the mask. Perfection must have a price. The other 4 audience members backed away in horror, but it was too late. Their shadows stretched unnaturally across the floor, reaching toward Aiko like puppet strings. The figure on the stage, Aiko, or Ren, sliced the air with a single hand gesture. In an instant, all 4 guests collapsed, their limbs twisted into grotesque dance postures. The police arrived hours later to an empty room. There were no bodies, no blood, just 5 new masks, placed neatly on a red cloth. Each one was carved with a face locked in a silent scream. And on the wall, written in fresh, wet ink, were the words, "Art must have successors." Months later, a new dancer arrived in Tokyo. She was gifted, her movements strangely familiar to those who had known Aiko. And sometimes, when she practiced alone in the studio, a 6th mask would appear behind her in the mirror's reflection. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories that will keep you up at night, be sure to subscribe.